This is a place for planting, for digging, for harvesting, for relaxing. It's a place to get your hands dirty, but most of all, it's about having fun. And that's what you'll always have when you're in the garden with Doug Oster. You want a green thumb too, don't you? Welcome to National Pollinator Week, and some of our favorite pollinators are right in front of me there. European honeybees. They're actually an invasive, and we know that they're in peril, but there are lots of native pollinators that we can attract to the garden, and that's what we're going to be planting for today, and that's our first job. When you go to the nursery, there are a lot of different plants that are great for pollinators, but I love this new series out called American Beauties Native Plants. They don't have any pesticides used in these plants, and we would never want to put a pollinator plant in that has a systemic pesticide in it, because that pesticide is going to come up through the leaves, through the flowers, and the bugs, insects, pollinators are going to eat it. Butterfly weed is a tough plant, anything with the name weed in it. And we're going to put in a spot here right in the vegetable garden that has some sun, got some good compost in here. This is all there is to it. I'm going to water it in. And the monarchs especially are going to love this, but lots of other pollinators too. After this, we've got another plant we're going to put in that pollinators just love. Always water as soon as you put a plant in the ground. And soak it in. Mulch will help too. Come on, pollinators. Well, one more pollinator plant to put in. And as I said, there's thousands at the nursery. And we want to bring in the good bugs because the good bugs eat the bad bugs. The good bugs are giving us more vegetables, more flowers. And this is fennel. So anything like dill or fennel, small flowering herbs like thyme, oregano, are all great things to bring in these pollinators. And I've got a nice little corner bed here filled with compost. Fennel will go just about anywhere. This gets sun in the morning, shade in the afternoon, and that's what it loves. And we'll be able to harvest this herb for the kitchen too. All right, we got a couple more jobs here in the vegetable garden, some fun stuff to do next. Well, we got a nice surprise. In with the seeds of these beets was this cauliflower, and look at it heading up. Even my wife said, hey, look at that cauliflower out there. I want it to get twice as big as this. Now, newer varieties of cauliflower are what are called self-blanching. The leaves actually grow over there to protect this and keep it white. Older varieties, we have to tie up the leaves to do this so-called blanching to keep this white, and we save our string always from our straw bales, and I really don't have enough leaves even to do this, but I'm going to do as much as I can. And it'll keep the sun off that nice white cauliflower, and hopefully we can get it to be a little bit bigger and then pick it and then let the fun begin. Now our next job, believe it or not, this late in the season, planting tomatoes still. There we go. All right, perfect. When I was at the nursery to get my pollinator plants, I could not resist this $9 tomato. It is an early girl, and I know it seems awful late for planting tomatoes, but tomatoes love warm soil, warm air temperatures. That's what we have, and this early girl is going to catch up with all my May planted tomatoes. Now, I didn't have any room for it. What are you going to do? We picked the garlic, and it looks good. Look at the size of those heads. Nothing like fresh garlic. Just like a fresh tomato out of the garden, garlic's the same way, and I'm so glad to have garden garlic. We're going to use that tonight in the kitchen. I've got beautiful compost here. This thing came with a little plastic cage. I cut that off. It's got some nice little tomatoes on it, and it's going to go right in here. And then we'll put our cage around it to support it, and it'll be the first thing people see in the garden when they walk in. Oh, that's perfect right there. All right. Can't wait for tomatoes. All right, after this I'll get my cage. All right, I've been using these big old cages since sometime in the 1980s, and they really do the job. This will all be filled with tomato in just a few months. One more stop in the vegetable garden, and then we're out into the woods. These Cherokee Trail of Tears pole beans we planted last week are up already. That's one of the advantages of waiting a little bit to plant. Won't be long till they're at the top of this trellis. Now let's get into the woods and talk hydrangeas. In the woods? Yeah, in the woods. The number one question I hear from people on my Sunday morning radio show, why won't my hydrangea bloom? Well, believe it or not, this is our native hydrangea. Well, it's not as showy as the hydrangea macrophylla or the mophead that most of us grow, but it's still a worthwhile plant. Look at it. In the woods, the deer don't touch it, and it blooms every year, and it is pretty. I've got two more to show you that are even prettier than this one, and you can find this at any place that sells native plants. Want an indestructible hydrangea that will bloom reliably? Both of these are the Annabelle series, and my favorite is this pink one called Invincibelle Spirit. When you buy one of these, portions of the proceeds go to breast cancer research, and now there's a new one called Invincibelle Spirit 2, which is even tougher than this one, but it will bloom in pure shade or out here in the sun. I love it. Let's finish up. Check out this beautiful Lantana plant. It is a great pollinator plant, going to bring me lots of good bugs. In Florida, this thing's a weed. Here, the frost will kill it. Now check me out online for more information about everything we talked about today, more blog posts, videos, stories, and where you can sign up to be a member of my exclusive garden club. Until next week, it's garlic time. Oh, yes. Oh, can't wait.